Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another weekly market analysis. I will be providing you a free PDF download of this video slides. I'll put the link in the description below. You just click on the link and then you'll have access to download this and much more. So this analysis is for May 8th through the 12th. That is week number 19 out of the year. Let's go ahead and jump on into this. I'll have the futures on the top row, ETFs on the bottom row. Let's first take a look at the monthly charts. On the Russell 2000, we can see really, and this is for all of these markets here, really not much of a change. You know, so far this month compared to last month, it's pretty much stuck in the same range. We have narrow range candles across all markets right now. I know it's early in the month still, but it's off to a slow start. So I have uncommitted really on the Russell 2000 and the S&P 500 and only slightly bullish on the Dow and the NASDAQ. And really, that's it. There's really not much more to it on these. On the weekly charts, we can see the Russell is range bound from about that 1650 to 2050. Again, really range bound has been the theme for the Russell for quite some time, on the IWM as well. However, on the S&P 500, we're starting to see some more bullish behavior here. We have higher highs and higher lows. So the direction is bullish. Unfortunately, the location that it's in right now, that 4,200 area, is bearish. We do have some resistance right there. However, I will say this is encouraging. The bullish behavior and the bullish pattern structure is winning it out, doing well so far. However, we need to always be paying attention to a possible reversal pattern anytime price goes into resistance or overhead supply up there. So be aware of it. All right, on the SPY, same concept there. I drew in that black line there, basically just showing you visually the higher highs and higher lows going on. So again, there's that bullish pattern behavior, that bullish pattern structure that we like to see for a nice uptrend right there. I will say it's more of a mild uptrend. You can see those highs are not really that much higher. The pullback to the low is a pretty deep pullback. So it's definitely not a really strong bull market or bull pattern structure, but it is bullish. We are getting the higher highs and higher lows. So there we are. On the Dow, pretty sloppy price pattern structure. I'm calling that uncommitted, meaning no dominant direction, either up or down, really starting to become stuck in that range between that 32 to 35 or so hundred area. So really, this may just go sideways for a while. And we can see that on the Dow as well. On the NASDAQ, though, a little glimmer of hope. We do have a healthy looking uptrend. Now, look at that uptrend and compare that to the S&P 500. Like I was just talking about, the S&P 500 had slightly higher highs and deep pullbacks, whereas this has noticeably higher highs and more shallow pullbacks. That's telling you right there, the NASDAQ is stronger, it's more bullish, more healthier from a bullish perspective. So if you want to buy a stock, focus on NASDAQ stocks, because that is where the strength is. That's where the money is flowing into. You might want to write that concept down. Where is the money flowing into? Those are the markets you want to focus on buying. The markets where money is flowing out of, those are the markets or sectors or industries that you want to focus on shorting, okay, or at least selling if you're in that position long. All right, so as far as the NASDAQ goes, slightly bullish, or it is bullish. It's looking pretty good there. We are seeing, though, that narrow range candles of the tightening, that little small box or rectangular pattern starting to form right there. That's the contraction happening. So what happens after contraction? Expansion. Okay, you're either getting an expansion or a contraction. Right now, it's contraction. So that's the tightening of the range of those candles. Up comes next is the expansion. Up or down, we don't know. Nobody does. Time will tell. I will say, so far so good for the bulls. So odds are it's going higher, but we are coming into some resistance that's overhead right there. So we need to pay attention to that. And then on the QQQ, I just drew out the lines right there so you can visualize a little bit better. There's your swing highs and swing lows, the higher highs, and then you can start seeing it going sideways right now. All right, I do want to show you more of a zoomed in focus here on the QQQ. And this is one of the things that we've been monitoring in our trading community and trade rooms. We have overhead resistance, you can see there, and the red rectangle there. It's slightly bullish, but look at the structure that we've had recently in the gray area. I call that the box, okay? It's just a rectangular area, okay? So stuck in a box there. That's contraction happening in the market. There's two things that the markets do. It contracts or it expands. One of those two things is happening at any given moment. And if it's not one, it's the other. If it's not the other, then it's the other one. So right now we've had this contraction going on for several weeks. So we are expecting a breakout either way, but really more to the upside. So I put on there 60-40 bullish, meaning probably more of a 60% chance it's bullish rather than bearish. So find NASDAQ stocks that have high relative strength to increase the odds. Okay, so I'll just give you an example. This is one that we've been monitoring heavily in our trading community, and that's Apple. Real popular one there. Most of you are probably familiar with this one. So here we can see our buy setup triggered. Multiple times, in fact, our buy setup triggered. And so someone had multiple opportunities on this one to trade. Anyway, so that's just some of the things that we're looking for. We do, the analysis on the big broad markets, and then we just go hunting for individual stocks that would give us that best buying opportunity. In this case, Apple happened to just be one of those. NVIDIA was another very recent one. You could look at a chart on that. It's done quite well just recently. Microsoft's done well as well. So, all right, let's zero in on the daily charts next here. On the Russell, it's sideways again. How about that? I think we've got, it's sideways on the daily and sideways on the weekly, and really not a whole lot going on the monthly either. So there's our Russell for you, pretty dormant right now. So again, really just play the ranges. Okay, so when it's down in that support area, take bullish positions. When it's in resistance, take bearish positions. On the S&P 500, again, uncommitted, sloppy pattern structure. I'm passing on that one. There's really not a whole lot to go by on that. Same with the SPY, stuck in a range. Okay, not a whole lot to do there. On the Dow, we can see we now have lower lows, so the bears have woken up. So we got bearish direction and really coming up into a bearish location as well. So we have lower lows and potentially some lower highs that may be forming. We'll have to see how that plays out the next couple weeks to see if we get that lower high or not. But right now, we're definitely bearish on the daily chart on the Dow. And a little bit, I'd say, slightly bearish as well on the S&P, although more uncommitted on that side. On the NASDAQ, though, there's a little more hope. We can see that it's been stronger compared to the other markets and hasn't had as steep of a sell-off and things like that. So on the futures market, we can see that gray area really stuck in a range right there and getting ready to break out. We'll see, but it's going to break out one direction or the other. It's not going to stay in the range forever here. So if it breaks out to the upside, great. We'll be looking for trading opportunities for that, as well as when it pulls back. For a buying opportunity, not just on the NASDAQ, but for other NASDAQ-related stocks, and that's really our play on this. And you can see on the daily chart on the QQQ, a little better picture of the bullish behavior going on. We see a higher high and a higher low has now formed. So that's the bullish behavior right there, the bullish pattern structure. We're just barely and modestly and slightly breaking out of that sideways consolidation that's been going on from about 310 to 320. So that's encouraging for the bulls. The only drawback I would say is we have overhead resistance right above it. So anytime you get that, obviously we're going to see some selling pressure coming in, but so far so good for the bulls. And the NASDAQ stocks have been pretty strong recently, NVIDIA, NASDAQ, Apple, and so on. So they've had some really nice runs, and we'll see if that can continue or not. All right, just a quick reminder here, go get your free PDF download. There's some more little goodies in there for you as well, and I'll be adding more. I'll put the link in the description below, and stay tuned for more weekly market updates. All right, everyone, God bless and good trading. We'll see you next week.